First time I went for a rally. I loved the entire experience of it and those memories of him, kind of teaching me driving and, the fun about, me one with the car and the whole experience was really amazing. And I just like kind of stuck to the sport.
What was the acceptance like for you? I mean, A, you're a woman in this, very predominantly male sport. B, you joined at such a late age. So how did you
Yeah.
manage to fit in?
And if you want to manifest a new reality in your life, you have to get into a new territory, a new frequency, a new, kind of a thought process, and you have to go all out to make it happen.
Garima, I mean, leaving a secure corporate job, what does it take actually to make this change?
There's no age to anything that when one wants to do. If you want to follow a dream, you can do it at any age. And this thing, if you want to make it happen, I think you have to have the drive, and I think anything is possible.
On Table Talk is a woman who left her secure corporate job in the 30s to join motorsport and become an extreme rally driver. Garima Avtar joins me on the show today to speak about her journey in a male-dominated sport, about breaking barriers and how motorsport can go mainstream. Listen.
Garima Avtar has broken so many barriers, and from the corporate life onwards to changing a profession completely into what is called a male-dominated field. Magar Garima, ये journey कैसी रही? I want to start by asking you कि car rally, extreme rally driving, ये कैसे सोचा?
I think it just happened to me. I never planned it. And in fact, I started so late in life. It just happened by chance. And see, I've been very close to my dad. And when I started rallying, when I got into this sport, my dad was no more. But, the first time I went for a rally, I loved the entire experience of it and those memories of him, kind of teaching me driving and, the fun about, me one with the car, and the whole experience was really amazing. And I just like kind of stuck to the sport, and I did another one. And then I was very lucky that I was picked up by Mahindra Adventure Rally team. So that was the kickstart to my career. And I think then there was no stopping after that.
No, there
And then I
hasn't
got
been.
into extreme rallying and all that stuff. Yeah.
What does it take to be an extreme rally driver, though?
You need a lot of guts, grit, lot of, fearlessness, I think. And also you have to enjoy the sport. I mean, so it's important to also train yourself and be good at it. And then you have to enjoy and have fun. But because you're going at such high speeds, you're driving at high speeds, it is also considered a little dangerous sport, motorsport. But these days, I mean, it's extremely secure and safe because the cars and we wear gears which are fireproof, and the cars are very safe. They have roll cages, and they're well modified as per all the safety norms. We have to. It's compulsory for us to wear the 5-point seat belt, and the helmets are FIA approved, and the gear that we wear is all FIA approved and all the stuff. So yeah, but extreme rallying is definitely we drive at the edge. It's definitely it's a extreme sport. That's how it's.
So how does your family? What was the family's reaction? You also have a child. What are their reactions to this?
They feel extremely proud about the fact that I'm doing something which I'm passionate about. I'm following my dreams, and I have made a mark in this area, and I have a good standing. I have a great respect in this area. So yeah, so they feel extremely proud about the fact, and as per I drive for fun, and in the sense, I'm not that I'm not that crazy. That I drive reasonably well. I have taken training also. I've taken training in drifting. I took training from the APRC champion. So it's important to drive well, drive fast, But I also see, I started very late in life, as I mentioned. I was in my 30s when I started rallying. So, generally champions and all, and they start very young. I mean, they start at the age of 8 and 9. They start with go-karting, and I started at a time when people, when mostly are, you end up retiring, after I got into this sport. So I think there's no age to anything that when one wants to do. If you want to follow a dream, you can do it at any age. And this thing, if you want to make it happen, I think you have to have the drive, and I think anything is possible.
It's
That's
really
it.
inspiring, actually, exactly what you say. There's no age to anything, and you've just, you're a big example of that. And Garima, I mean, leaving a secure corporate job, what does it take actually to make this change? You're going into the unpredictable life.
Absolutely. I had a very safe and a secured job. And when I decided to quit it, it was actually a tough decision because I was not sure what lied ahead of me, what was the future like, because it was a completely unknown territory for me. So generally, when you go into anything, which you're not familiar with, so that's where you start feeling, that doubtful. You get all these apprehensions, but yeah, you have to deal with it. And I think if you want to manifest a new reality in your life, you have to get into a new territory, a new frequency, a new kind of a thought process, and you have to go all out to make it happen. So I think that happened with me.
So what was the acceptance like for you? I mean, A, you're a woman in this, very predominantly male sport. B, you've joined at such a late age. So how did you manage to fit in?
So, yeah, this is a male-dominated sport, for sure. But, it's all about, respecting each other. So, and as as an adult, since, I had the sense, I had, so I don't know, I mean, I was very well respected, and I was very well, accepted also by everyone. And it's also, like I said, skill development is very important. It's very important to go there and, not go there like an idiot. It's important to train yourself and, learn. And when you go there, and then you feel good about yourself, you're good about your driving, you know the things, and you know the machine. And so I think it's, it's been a great journey for me. So because of that, maybe. So in rally driving, somehow I have seen, there were people my age as well. So it was not something which was limited to an age. So I don't know. I mean, so it was a great journey. So acceptance was not a problem at all for me. So
the last 2 years, the last 2.5 years, they've kind of stopped everybody in their tracks. How does an athlete, an athlete like you, how do you go around that to, keep motivating yourself, to keep going, actually, to battle against the unpredictability in a sense?
So I think it's very important to persevere, to be patient, and go. So I have, my journey actually has been very slow and steady. So for me, I was in a full-time corporate job, in fact, for the most of the time. And initially, rallying was just a weekend passion. Then I got full-time into it. So my journey has been, very slow and steady. I have not given up. I have seen so many of my colleagues and all. They come for one rally, 2 rallies, and then they're not seen anymore in the circuit. But I have been in this sport since it's been a decade. It's been more than a decade that I'm into this. So I think it's the patience, the perseverance, and the attitude of not giving up, and giving yourself small chances, because it is an expensive sport. So, it burns, big, you have big holes in your pockets and all because it's financially very draining. You need a lot of sponsors and all. It's not easy to get sponsors also. So, yeah, so I think I've had I've come pretty far in my journey, and I'm not sure if I want to still continue to rally. I mean, in competitive rallying, because it is an expensive sport, and I've kind of spent a lot of money from my own pocket. Besides, I've got some sponsorships as well, but you have to kind of like, it's not always possible to to drive through sponsorships, and
finances are a big key to it as well, right? I mean, it's a big aspect for any sport, for any athlete, who's looking to go big. You need that next level, and it's always about the finances. But where does motorsport actually stand in the country in terms of that acceptability which leads to financial viability?
So now motorsport is being recognized by the government as well, and there are quite a few teams which have come, and they are taking young and aspiring drivers and in their fold and kind of sponsoring them. JK Tires is there. Yes, long time back, MRF was also sponsoring. Now I think they have stopped. I was sponsored by this team Champions, which was there earlier, but I don't think so. They are very active now. I'm not very sure about it. So I have, but I mean, a lot of actually women have started participating in this sport, in rallying and also circuit racing. So it's not like I remember a long time back when I had done one Desert Storm rally in 2011, 12 or something, quite some time back. Amongst the 120, 130 participants, I was the only female driver. So I mean, that was the number. And now, I mean, you see quite a few women out there, girls out there participating. So it's nice. The number has, yeah.
What is the grind like when you're out there, participating?
It takes a lot of toll, in the sense you have to have very sharp focus, and concentration has to be immense, and your fitness definitely also counts, because your stamina, because you're driving at high speeds constantly with such precise focus, so that you don't get tired, and the vision, everything makes so much of that plays such an important role, kind of to be able to see, to be able to kind of like assimilate what's happening around you, and take quick decisions and all, so so it is tough on the body and the mind.
Do you need, like, after you finish with participating at an event, do you need like a downtime, or do you get back into things immediately?
No, we definitely get downtime. We definitely need, because we are, we don't put on the ACs and all, and it becomes really heated up, and the entire, the car gets really heated up because all the windows are, turned up, and we drive in all weather conditions, even during June, in the month of June, and May and June, when it's so hot. So you definitely have to drink a lot of water. You have to drink, you have to hydrate yourself, have a lot of electrol and all the stuff, so that you don't feel dehydrated and weak and all the stuff, because these are long, these rally stretches, like we are driving for 200, 300, 400 kilometers, sometimes every day at high speeds, and that 400 kilometers also include the travel time, transport time, that is from one track to the other track. That can be relaxing, because you can, but there is a specific time you have to reach that spot, so you have to be mindful of all that. And
how was the first event that you participated in? What was that like? And did you have the jitters? Were you nervous? How did it go?
I started with TSD, time, speed, distance format rally. So it was not an extreme rally, and I just happened to go with a friend. She and in that, the role of the navigator, the co-driver, is also very crucial, because they have to make calculations. You have to reach this, the specific points that you can't reach before time or late. So you can't reach late, but even if you reach before time, there's a penalty. So it has to be the accuracy of time. And then you have to read the tulip, which is the kind of directions and all that stuff. So it was great fun, and that's how I said the rally bug bit me after this, because it was a great experience. It was loads of fun. I have some great memories of that rally, and and in fact, I remember we ended up getting a podium finish in our first rally, and that's how you get even more
fully
motivated.
motivated.
Yeah.
So how do you make this sport more accessible in the country?
When teams like JK Tires and Maruti Suzuki was also at one point sponsoring the sport, and so when you get a lot of these sponsors, who can fund you, because actually the sport is so expensive. Most of the the problem arises when you're not able to fund it, and that's where you stop yourself, because and then besides that, if there are good schools and training programs and all, where you can, because but now India, here we do have good schools and good, a lot of training programs are there, which for women there's a proper kind of FMSCI women in motorsports body also. So lots been happening, and I think it's going kind of, it's in great progress. It's making a great progress in that way.
Is your daughter interested in it?
Not so much. She loves cars. Actually, she's a very creative person. She's very fond of drawing and art and all those stuff. And so and not so much into driving, but yeah, she's very fond of cars, and we have a great camaraderie around that.
So what is it that keeps you going outside of driving?
So I have, besides the competitive rallying bit, I have been now busy with a lot of things around cars, because my cars and driving. So in fact, these are little dreams. I don't know. Which I always wanted. I always dreamt that some days, all these fancy cars would come to my place, all these supercars, and I would get to drive them. Like these journalists, I would watch them. I would hear about these auto journalists and who get these cars. They stay at their place, and so I always wanted to. I thought, I wish something like that would happen someday. But actually, it's been happening now. So I have done some anchoring assignments for some auto kind of media houses, and I'm very active on my Instagram and creating a lot of content for luxury cars and supercars, and I have also organized expeditions and rallies. So I remember I'd taken a group of girls for a trip to Spiti Valley, where I was the expedition leader. So it was it was one of a kind trip, and then I took training. Then I went on. I wanted to learn a little more advanced driving, and I went on to learn drifting. Went to London once, and then I went to Dubai once to learn drifting. I don't know if you understand what drifting is. It's the art of driving sideways. So it's like you kind of deliberately kind of unsettle the car, and then bring the car back, kind of in control. So you're doing donuts and all the stuff. So I took training in that, and so I'm so passionate about cars and driving. So that's been my journey.
I can just imagine all the young people who are going to listen to this on YouTube as well, just getting totally enamored with with the adrenaline that is going to come out when they listen to you, and their parents are saying, just settle down, just sit down,
Yeah.
What next for you, Garima? How do you want to keep taking this sport forward?
I have actually recently started my own podcast.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, that's
I have
nice.
watched a
So
bit, and I can
you
tell
watched it a
everybody
bit,
that yes,
yeah.
that it's really inspiring, and she's
Yeah.
brilliant at it. So
So
she's
yeah, I keep
changed roles today.
yeah, so you know what, I think I have this growth mindset where I'm constantly thinking how I can learn this and upskill myself and do something new, something better with what I'm doing, and go to the next level. So I started, because then I started this podcast, and now I'm also thinking of starting a blog on cars and all those stuff. So maybe that will be my next thing.
What special preparation does one require before a rally?
Preparation wise, definitely a car has to be well prepared also, and the car has to go through the safety procedure, the scrutiny and all. Unless the car passes the scrutiny, we can't rally. So that is one thing. The car has to be well prepared as per the norms of the FI and all the stuff. And then you have your gear and all the stuff, the helmet and everything, that all needs to be there in place. And then your mental attitude, and then you have to prepare your mental psyche, just to not just get too much of pressure, kind of have fun, it's important to have that spirit, to go all out there and do your bit, but also to have fun out there.
So are you one of the boys when you compete, if you're the only one there?
No, it's great. So now, there are other women also now. I'm not the only woman. So there are quite not so many, but yeah, you can count them on your fingers. I mean, so it's good actually, and generally, we need to take professional. But I hire professional co-drivers, because that's how you have to have a navigator. Initially, I would go with like all women's team. I now I hire professional navigators. So generally, that person can be a guy or a girl. So it does not matter. So we are all together, and it's all teamwork, because we have to have the service team also with us. We have to because during the car the rally goes on for a few days, so the car has to be well taken care of. The gearbox, any spare parts you require that needs to be changed, or so you require the service team definitely, or you too. So it's all teamwork. So you're not alone. I mean, your entire team is with you.
Do you plan to continue competing, Garima?
No, not really, Joe. I think I've done my bit. I have had a great journey, and it's been a roller coaster ride for me. In fact, I've come far, far ahead. I've had my bit of fun and enjoyment, and the competitive, streak and bit. But I don't think so. I think I'm done there. So I have many new roles actually I've gone into, and I'm doing something extremely that's also challenging and very, very enduring, and it may not be that the competition is with the self, because you want to make it better and go to the next level. But yeah, I mean, I'm still I'm not doing competitive rallying, but I'm challenging myself every day and doing new stuff actually.
And really wishing you all the best with all the stuff that you're doing, and wishing you all the best with your podcast and everything else, and see you soon at some point.
Thank you so much, Joe.